Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Imani if it's your first time here. And today we are going to talk about 5 things that I wish I knew before getting an apartment. I decided to do this video because my most viewed video on my channel is my how to get an apartment in college video, and I constantly get love on that video. If you've ever showed me love on any of my videos, I appreciate it, but I will say I get constant love from that video, and I decided if I'm gonna tell y'all how to get one, I also need to tell y'all what I wish I knew. You know, getting an apartment is a huge accomplishment at any age, and sometimes it's a huge accomplishment and we want it so bad that we don't realize what we're getting ourselves into. So I just wanted to share with y'all my experience. So if you're interested in this video, keep on watching. So the first thing I want to talk about is this move is not for kids. Like, and I know you're probably like, obviously, Imani, like kids don't live on their own, but my point here is that getting an apartment, like, that's a big adult thing, and I don't think people realize the things that go into it. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care if you're 18 or 28 or 58. No one likes paying bills. Like, nobody. I hate paying bills. Like, you know, when I get paid for work, you know, I'm like, yes, and then I'm like, dang, this gotta go to bills. But, you know, I'm an adult now, and that's just how it is. But I say this to say, like, just be mindful, you know, when you're getting an apartment, the money that, you know, you saved is gonna go out quicker than it might come back in. So I don't care what age you are, paying bills is not fun, period. And I just encourage people, and I've said this on some of my comments on my video, if you can stay home, just try your best to, because you can just save more money. You can, you know, invest that money into stocks, real estate, property, whatever. But you know, when you're young and you're trying to just move out of your parents' house, if your situation isn't, you know, that bad and it's bearable, livable, try to just stay home, because, you know, once you move out on your own, it's going to be hard for you to move back into your parents. Second thing that you should be mindful of, you can't furnish everything at once. And I know that's hard, because when you get an apartment, you think about everything, how you want your TV to look. You like, yo, I'm gonna get an 80-inch TV. I'm gonna have it mounted on the wall with the lights on the back. I'm gonna have a fireplace mounted on the wall. Look, listen, I know what y'all be thinking, and that's cool, but to be honest with you, unless your money is long, it's really hard to furnish an entire place all at once. So honestly, get the basics: a bed, some place to put your clothes, and honestly, you could probably skip on that. If you're living by yourself, just use your closet, you know, worry about that later. So if you're living by yourself, honestly, put your clothes in the closet, try to make it work. Furniture is expensive, quality furniture. Now, let's be real here. You can go out and buy stuff from, you know, IKEA or wherever that's more affordable, and no shade to IKEA, because I have a couple of things, but is it gonna last forever? Probably not. Honestly, no furniture lasts forever, but you want to get a good, I want to say, 10 years out of it before you have to get rid of it. And if you want to get rid of it prior to that, that should be your decision, but that shouldn't be because it broke. So my point is that just, you know, don't rush. And to be honest, like, you'll rush and get all these things, and then you'll be sitting in an apartment full of furniture and you'll be like, why did I get this? Or why do I have that? And you might want to get rid of it, and then that's more money out the drain. So just think about your purchases before, you know, you just try to furnish your entire apartment. I know it's hard because, you know, you want your place to look a certain way. You see people on YouTube with their apartment tours and you're inspired, and that's how you want it to be. And you can do that, but just be mindful, apartment furniture, furniture period, is expensive. So, you know, if I were you, I would just get the basics down to deciding whether you need a couch or not. Like, you know, if no one's coming to visit you, especially now we're in a pandemic, what you need a couch for? Like, put the TV in your room, you know. Now, don't get me wrong, some people are like, no, like, my bed is my bed, and, you know, I want to sit on a couch to watch TV. And 100% respect that. But, you know, let's like just think about it. Shoot, maybe you could get a really nice lounge chair like that you just sit on. If no one's coming to visit you, that's not gonna cost you as much as a couch. So, you know, just be mindful of that, down to like a dining set, like a dinette or a breakfast nook. Like, are you gonna eat there, or are you gonna sit on your couch or a chair? Like, decide between the two. Like, would you prefer a dining table or would you prefer a couch? Like, just, you know, so you're not breaking the bank all of a sudden. Number 3. Now, if y'all don't take nothing else from this video, I need y'all to take this one. The leasing office doesn't care. Now, depending on where you're renting, you can have a leasing company that's in charge of your apartment, or a landlord. Now, the difference between the two, pretty much a landlord is one person, and usually they're running the apartment. So if you have any issues, you call them. Now, a leasing company is an entire corporation. Now, they have employees that, you know, help you with your apartment, and then you might have a maintenance crew that handles things. It's just an entire corporation. But let me tell you right now, neither of them usually can give two craps about anything that you got going on. And, you know I sound really bitter, but I am. When I lived in Atlanta, I had a lot of problems with my last apartment. And when I tell you they never cared, all they cared about was when I was paying my rent. And I was always on time. But if I was ever in a situation where I needed an extra day, they never wanted to work with me. And that's okay. Cool, fine. I still paid it, wasn't late. But, you know, sometimes I was in college, so sometimes things happen and you could use that extra wiggle room. They ain't play that. And it's really frustrating because I feel like people should have compassion. You know, you show me this apartment, you want to tell me all the good amenities you have, you want to put water and snacks in the fridge to get me to come here, and then when I come here, you kind of treat me like crap. It doesn't make sense. You know, when this pandemic first started, you know, people were losing their jobs and a lot of people were getting furloughed. And instead of them saying, oh, we'll waive your late fees or we'll waive your rent, whatever the case is, they gonna give you a list of organizations that could pay your rent. Really? Really? And a personal experience of mine, my husband is a government employee, and when the government shut down, you know, they was like, oh, we gotta treat this as if you lost your job, so we will take legal action if you don't pay. Really? You know, like, and not for nothing, like, on the news, they said, you're gonna get back pay if you're a government employee. Y'all knew this stuff and y'all still acting like that. It was just very distasteful. So I say this to say, like, don't ever think that your landlord or the leasing office for where you rent is going to care. They just want to know if you're gonna have their money or not. They don't care if something is broke in the sink, you know, a pipe bust. Like, they don't care. If you late on your rent and that pipe bust, they gonna make it worse for you. They gonna be like, so we will do this when you pay, you know, and then they'll say some slick thing like, oh, it's in the lease. Did you read it? Like, so just, I know I kind of went on a rant here, but I'm just very passionate about this one. So just be mindful of that when you're renting. Number 4, moving is stressful and expensive. Y'all, I don't care how you slice it, cut it, whatever. Moving is stressful, okay? My last move was so stressful. I didn't realize how much stuff I accumulated over the past 2 years at my last place. It was really bad. Like, I was just like, yo, throw this whole apartment away when I was packing. It was crazy. It was so stressful. And what makes moving more stressful for me personally, a lot of the stuff like you try to pack, you can't pack it because you're probably still going to be using it, which means you probably will be packing the night of, which happened to me. And when I tell you that had me crazy going crazy. Like, I was so stressed, but you know, I was using the stuff, so it was like I'ma pack it and then have to unpack it, you know, like it was just really annoying. And it's not cheap. Movers are not cheap. And I mean, if you want to take a cheaper route and get a U-Haul or a budget, you know, truck and do it that way, you can. But I will say you're probably just better off getting movers, just because if you have a lot of stuff, trying to move that yourself, like, you might hurt yourself. Let's start there. So I always tell people, you know, try to weigh the pros and cons of, you know, you doing it yourself versus paying someone. But it's not cheap, and with apartments, usually their prices go up every year when your lease is up, and it's kind of a way to get people out that's already been there, that's at a certain price point. So they try to just get you out, and sometimes they want to renovate the apartment, so it's, you know, to get you out so they can renovate it. They'll raise the rent. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it. But you know, if you stay, let's just say you stay there and, you know, the rent keeps going up. At some point, you're going to realize, like, what you're paying is not worth it, and you're going to want to move. So just be mindful, you know, when you do get your first apartment, that if this is not your forever apartment until you buy a house or move to another area, you might want to just consider what you're going to be paying in rent. Because if you have to move, you know, it's going to cost you some money, and you might want to put some money aside if you don't plan on staying there. Number 5, the price goes up every year, your rent. So I know I stated previously that your rent sometimes does go up. In my experience, my rent went up every year. I remember my first apartment, I think I was paying like $850 for it. This was back in 2016, and this was Atlanta. In the area I was in, I don't think they do it anymore. I think the rent went up, but it was a sweet time. But I was paying like $850, and it was, I think I want to say like 580 square feet. Nice first apartment for me. I was in college, and when my lease was about to end, it was going up to $960, and for me, I was like, hell no, I'm not paying that for this apartment. It's too small. So I looked around. So I found an apartment. It was more. It was actually, I want to say, the new rent that I would have had to pay, and like $40 or something, like extra $40. I'm not too sure. But it was worth it. I literally I went from, you know, just a small, you know, bedroom, small closet, and small bathroom, and small living room, and small kitchen, to now a whole living room with a dining room, a whole kitchen, a bedroom with a walk-in closet, and my bathroom was a decent size too. Honestly, that was probably my favorite apartment. It was beautiful. I mean, it had, you know, French doors that cut off from the bedroom and the living room. It was nice. So even though I did enjoy my first apartment, moving to that apartment was definitely a bonus. But I will say, when I got my first apartment, I didn't think that the rent was gonna go up that high. I thought it was gonna go up like $30, and that's usually what they tell you. You see why I said that they ain't that, you know, nice? But that's usually what they tell you. So when it went up a whole $100, I was just like, what the heck? I am not paying that for this. And that's why I moved. But, you know, just be mindful of that, because let's just say your first apartment, you know, it's really like, it's really hitting the budget. Like, it's like right there. You know, what happens when the rent goes up? Like, what are you gonna do? And it sometimes it's hard to downgrade. You know, it's hard to downgrade. So, you know, just be mindful of that, especially if it's your first apartment. Start off small. I told a friend of mine this, because she was moving out from having roommates. I told her, start with the smallest apartment. You know, you going from having just a room to having a whole place. Start with the smallest apartment. You don't need the extra stuff. You know, you can always grow into that. And that's what I did with my apartment. So, you know, just be mindful of that. You know, start small and go bigger, because you know, you don't want to just hit your budget right there because it's nice. Like, what if it goes up, you know, like I said. So that's the end of my 5 things I wish I knew before I got an apartment. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I appreciate all the love that y'all give me. If you got to the end of this video and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss another video from me. And please like this video. It helps me out a lot. I love y'all all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.